Hello and welcome back to Would You Rather Wednesday. I'm your host, davidinark, and let's see what mind boggling questions and what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into today. All right. Would you rather have no family or no friends? We may have actually had this question some time ago. I don't remember, but I don't. Family is majorly important to me. So to have no family at all would be pretty rough. But if I had no family, then I would have friends. At least that's the theory behind here, right? So technically, I could have no family and still have friends. I could ultimately have no friends, and I guess theoretically I'd have family, but then what if all my family passed away or something? Then I'd have neither friends nor family. Then again, I guess that would also be true the other side. Wow. This is a little deeper than I thought we were going to get. Okay, so I don't. Family is very, very important to me. So I would say that I would rather have no friends than no family, but that's tough. That's a no-win situation. It really is, because without friends, I wouldn't have, you wouldn't be here watching. I wouldn't have the friends that I know and the coworkers that I know. And wow, this is that's a really hard one. I know a bunch of you are like, just pick one already, or you've already picked one and you've moved on. I guess I'm going to say have no friends. I don't like either choice, but I'm going to say I would rather have no friends. All right, so the majority of folks also choose family over friends. So that makes me feel good. Good. It's nice to know that out there in the world, there are 948,000 other people who feel that family is more important than friends. But by the same token, I totally understand. Maybe some of those people who answered on the no family side, maybe they already don't have family, or maybe for whatever reason their family isn't really a part of their lives, so they couldn't have no friends. And I totally get that. So, like I said, not a very easy question at all, which is good. It makes us think. It makes you chew on it, figure out what applies, all that good stuff. So, would you rather live in a nudist colony or live with the Amish? And the sub is you would have to be a participating member in either lifestyle. So you couldn't just live there. You actually have to be there. I am going to tell you, I would rather live with the Amish than in a nudist colony, because ain't nobody want to be saying this nude. You know what I'm saying? No, not happening. So live with the Amish. Most other people would rather not, which makes sense, because then at least in your household you would not have access to the internet, etc. There is a major misconception that the Amish have no idea about technology and that kind of stuff, and that is not true. Outside of their community and the way that they live their daily lives, they totally have access, or can get access to, internet and advanced technologies and TV and all that kind of good stuff. It's just that in their daily living, they don't participate in those things, but they are fully aware, at least the ones that I'm aware of anyway, they're fully aware of what modern life is like. They just choose not to participate in it as part of their regular daily routine. All right. So I don't have a problem living Amish, I don't think. Well, especially compared to being nudist. No, that's not happening. All right. As a leader, would you rather be loved or be feared? I would rather, this is an easy one, I would rather be loved and respected than feared with or without the respect. There are way too many people and too many entities in this world who already try to rule people in general through fear and intimidation, and it's all baloney. It's all bull. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to study on the use of fear and intimidation and arm yourself mentally, emotionally, to be to be aware of when it's happening, and to know that if some news media is throwing out something that is truly just meant to scare and frighten you, which frankly most news, that's what it's about. If you see your government doing something and it seems like they're trying to instill fear and intimidation, it's all baloney. And frankly, I think we'd be in a much, much better place if folks went by ruling in such a way that, now loved is a little strong, but still in a way that you are respected and revered versus feared. Because I hate fear and intimidation. It's such baloney. So there you go. That was a very long-winded way to say I would rather be loved. There you go. So that is one of my hot. Okay, would you rather be Gandalf or Luke Skywalker? Yeah, I would rather be Luke Skywalker. There's just not. Sorry, but Gandalf's cool and all, I guess. But come on, it's Luke freaking Skywalker. Yeah. Well, it's almost an even split. I mean, it's a little heavier toward Luke, but hey. All right, if you could bring back the '90s, oh boy. Would you rather bring back 90s style music, etc., or stick with the current trends? I grew up in the 70s and 80s, which A, tells you how old I am, and B, also tells you where most of my existence lies. I'm a huge fan of 80s. Anything 80s, absolutely. Well, maybe not anything 80s, but anyway. I actually am a fan of the 90s. I liked a lot of, especially 90s grunge and 90s rock. I really liked a lot of that. In terms of current trends, pop music's pop music. I'll tell you, I'm not necessarily a fan of what I call scream rock. I don't know what the actual term is. Is it thrash metal, whatever? Basically, where people are just coming up to the microphone and I'll listen to it, and actually some of it I do like, truthfully, but I'm not a big fan of it. So in terms of bringing back 90s styles, 90s music, 90s TV shows, I mean, my oldest child grew up throughout the 90s, so I'm good with that. The truth is, current trends, it's funny you say current trends, because in a lot of ways, things come back around again. Right now, 80s is actually coming back in. You got, LPs and 80s style music and folks listening to 80s music and all that kind of good stuff. So in a weird sort of way, I'd actually rather stick with current trends, because those trends are kind of throwing back to the 80s. And the other side of that conversation is the things that aren't throwing back to an earlier day. Everything's evolving. Everything changes. Everything, even if you're taking old styles and updating to the whatever's current. I like current stuff. I'm one of those folks that I can listen to stuff from the 50s and 60s through the 70s and 80s, 90s and 2000s up to the 2010s and beyond, whatever's coming next. So actually, I think I'm okay with the current trend. I'd be okay with that. That's a near split, so there we go. All right. These are really long, and maybe it's just me. All right. Would you rather live forever or never live? Well, that's easy. If I never live, then I couldn't be answering the question. So I guess of the two, I'll live forever. I want to live forever. Yeah, 81%. I'm really sorry that there are 19% of the folks who would rather never live. And I, having been there when I was a teenager, I can understand where they're coming from. There are times when you might feel like it'd be better if you were never here, if you never lived. I know I went through that actually a couple of times in my teen years, and it's a very hard place to be, but I want you to know that if you are feeling that way, I know it sounds very cliche and it's so hard to believe, but seriously, it does get better. It really does. Um, and and I'm not saying that it gets easier. I'm not saying that somebody's going to turn around and hand you a chunk of change. I'm not saying that somebody's going to turn around and give you, if you've lost family, to give you your family back or friends back. Um, I'm just saying that one day at a time, one step at a time, um, things do they do turn around. They really do. Um, and uh, if you have anyone at all that you can reach out to, including like 800 numbers you can call, even if you don't know the other person on the other line, it doesn't matter. Just talk to somebody. And it's scary. It's so scary, and it's so hard a lot of times, or it was for me anyway, to reach out and say, "Look, this is not going well, and I don't know what to do about it, and I'm afraid I'm going to do something stupid." Or I don't. I just at that time I went through a phase where I didn't want to be anymore. I really didn't. I did not want to live anymore, and there's no sugarcoating way to say that. Um, and I got I got help from various places. Some places I didn't even expect. Um, just little things, and it would be something like I'll never forget. I was in a grocery store, and just this random person. I mean, I was just walking aimlessly. I had no idea. I don't even remember what I was there for. I was just in a haze. And anyway, but what I do remember is this random person. They walked up to me, and they said, "It's going to be okay." And they didn't know me. I didn't know them. And they just walked up and said, "Hey, look, it's going to be okay. It does get better. Just hang in there." And I know that's not a major thing. And for a lot of folks, sometimes that's not even enough of a thing. But that, I don't know, that was enough for me to make the next steps and call some folks and get some help. So um, I hope and I pray that you're not on the never live side, because well, frankly, I love the fact that you're living because you're here and you're watching. But there's so much more than that. It's not just my selfishness of wanting you to be here. But there are, and I know sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are lots of people who are very glad you're here. And that was one of the things that I discovered kind of later, is how many people I end up reaching that I didn't know I was reaching. It's amazing the impact you make on people and don't even realize. So anyway, please, don't ever feel like you want to never live. Or if you do feel that way, please reach out to somebody. Just tell somebody, hey, I was watching this old man on YouTube, and he hit a nerve, and things aren't going well, and I need to talk, and just talk to somebody. Okay, next on that, let's move on to, would you rather be dissolved feet first in sulfuric acid or have a mafia hit on your family? That's, wow, okay. Be dissolved feet first. So, okay, if A, you have 0% chance of surviving, if B, they have a 0% chance of survival, this is actually a no-brainer. I would much rather, if we're talking about complete and utter destruction of me or my family, I go first. I would take whatever I had to take in order for my family to survive. Yeah, I'm not. Interesting that 51% of the people would rather the mafia put a hit on their family. That's, wow, okay. All right. Would you rather be 1 foot smaller than you are right now or 1 foot taller than you are right now? I actually like my height. I'm around 5'9", 5'10". So a foot smaller puts me 4'9", 4'10". That's not actually too bad. One taller would be 6'9" or 6'10". That's pretty freaking tall. But Of the two, I would say I would probably rather be smaller just because I think it would be easier to find clothes. I know that's like the stupidest reason ever, but you know what? Sometimes I'm that shallow. I would need to find clothes. So I'd rather be shorter. Most people would rather be taller. Well, there you go. All right, we're going to do one more here. And would I rather play GoldenEye on an N64 or play Halo on an Xbox? I've actually played both, and of the two, GoldenEye is very cool. I liked the shared couch split screen, four people on a screen, except the screens were so small, it was kind of weird to play. But I don't know. There's something about playing with someone at the same place at the same time on a split screen, because you get into that whole watching where the other person is and getting that feel for where things are. GoldenEye was a lot of fun. Halo, I was a big fan in the day of Halo and similar games. So of the two, frankly, I'd probably rather play GoldenEye, tell you the truth. I think it would be fun to sit around the TV and kick it old school and do a split screen 4-player game. That would be kind of cool. So I'm gonna go with GoldenEye. We're gonna go retro on that one, and there you go. So I'm gonna wrap things up right here. Spent a lot of time talking about some of these things. Let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Your comments on some of the things that we covered here, especially some of the deeper stuff and some of the superficial stuff. What the heck? Would you rather play GoldenEye or Halo? Let me know down in the comments below, along with the other things that we talked about. Feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. And we'll see you next time on Would You Rather Wednesday.